left and right. Ferrari finally able to get a kill right there. Tribe starting to build up on some of those score streaks, and you cannot allow that to happen heading into the second half. We got a Pred missile on the way in. I believe a drone called in as well, and right now, Tribe just raining absolute terror. Ferrari gonna hop to the top side, but Band's there waiting for him. And until Stamina makes a push and gets top laundry control, they're not gonna have any type of a shot at getting beat. No player is able to push through anywhere. Finally a big kill going in for Ship, but he's gonna be traded as well. And it looks like they tried to make the wrap and maybe flip for the A flag, but not going to be able to do that either.
Finally, I guess to see some sort of movement coming in from Stamina. They really needed to have that central guard in control and finally sent in two players after a long time. I feel like it took a little bit too long for them to try and control mid, and unfortunately for them, they weren't able to utilize that very well, but finally Drari obviously doing a solo cap here in Alpha. Now that is what they needed. They needed one more person, and obviously Drari will be that guy to deliver. He's just going to be sitting pretty over here really nicely, but then it's going to be his lasers that might give him away, but still winning all the gunfights.
He is the do-it-all man right now. Takes out Childs as well, and he's on a 5 spree. He's got full streaks right now. Might be looking to capitalize, especially if he's getting ready to cycle as well. Bolu on the flank right there, and he's finally going to be able to knock him off those streaks. Taking a look, just so even across the board, and it's the same as the Search and Destroy. Tribe, every single player within 3 kills of each other. You got Drari up at 14, you got Grizz down at 1 and 9. And it seems like right now Grizz having a tough time adjusting and figuring out what he needs to do to help his team. Tribe gonna enter the half with the lead, and they might be able to get some points right here for the A flag. Not gonna be able to get it, and that's gonna be big for Stamina, as that prevents a lot of points from going towards those streaks.
One question on my end, whose Pred was that? Whose Predator missile was that? I'm pretty sure it was probably Drari's. If you guys right now watching, please let us know whose Predator missile that was. That was absolutely crazy. That won them basically the whole map. That was a lot of shots really fired into the first half. Now 10 points are in between. We don't know what's going to happen here.
Ferrari pushes up early, wasted Death Machine, and that is not a good sign for Stamina. Grizz going to drop as well. A little bit of time on the hill or on the point for Stamina, but Tribe has all the map control in the world. Fortunately for Stamina, Inferno still in top laundry right now. Envy gonna slide the corner, finds one right there. Inferno able to get the trade. Envy holding down mid-map, and that is now 2 operators off the table for the Stamina team, but they get smoked down, they get a couple of kills, and a big opportunity to get the cap, but it doesn't matter. Bolu shoots through the smoke right there. Narc's trying to capitalize on his Death Machine. We'll see if he can find more than 2 kills right here. Envy hopping up there, make it 3 in a row for him, and that is absolutely huge for Stamina. They've got the map control. Oh no, maybe a disconnect, I'm not sure what happened. Oh no, that could be absolutely deadly. Grizz still going to be able to hop on right here, able to get more kills than he had in the first half, which is definitely a good sign. They're so close to getting beat, the contest, it's not going to happen.
Envy, you've been killed. That is crazy. And that is the reason why you need to win your individual gunfights, but it's still not very bad. You can see the Bravo site is still pretty much open up for keeps, but with the Nexus 1 Goliath right in your midst. Oh no!
He missed the Tempest!
He missed the Tempest! Not being able to shut down the Nexus 1 Goliath of Marshy, the very infamous Nexus 1 Goliath that this man always brings to the table.
And that could be the missed Tempest shot that seals the deal right here. Right now, if you let that Goliath get into top laundry, it is game over right now. Stamina doing everything they can to shut it down. Grizz drops. He's going to rotate right here, staying out in the open, which is a little bit surprising to see, but it doesn't matter. Now 16 on the board. Marshy doing Marshy things, and right now, terrorizing the map from every direction. Inferno and Drari once again doing everything they possibly can to get this team a win. But you gotta have more contributions from the rest of the guys. They get the B-cap. Wow, what a push down right there, and Stamina's gonna keep their hopes alive.
This is the comeback. You don't see a lot of points in between them. I mean, you get to see here, it's only 19 points down in the drain, and that is very doable if they keep this hold. Just keep it just for a few more moments, but then with Tribe Gaming, that is not going to be a very comfortable lead. You need to find a way to cap A. They are sending 3 more folks over there, but with 1 person going down, oh, that's gonna be a very big kill right now from Shift. That is 2 players down. Will stop the push here in Alpha.
they gotta be aware of Chalice. They cannot allow that A flag to go back in the control of Tribe. Grizz gonna drop there as well, just not his game right now. 6 and 20 is the man, and a big kill on the backside to preserve that A flag. We got players over here. The operator's gonna come on out. A lot of progress over on B. Tribe looks like they're gonna be able to do it, and Bolu finishes off the cap right there. The control back in play for them. Once again, Drari Inferno doing everything right now, but Chow tops up to the top side, Death Machine in hand. We're nearing triple cap territory right now, and it seems even when the deck was stacked against them late in the game, they lose their Goliath. Tribe still finds a way to get that B flag back, and man, gotta be a heartbreaker for Stamina.
They can't even go really close. And Bolu, that was a very big play on his end to really cap him by himself. And yes, there were 3 of them there, but unfortunately, that just couldn't really pull through for Stamina. No, that second half was really close. Stamina was supposed to have a lot more points in that Bravo flag, but I feel like once they have that Bravo, they should have probably pushed for C, knowing very well that Tribe is going to go really hard for Alpha.
Yeah, and it seemed like they had a good setup. Inferno prone behind the rocks right there as the rest of the team was slaying out. It seemed like they were in a position to get the hold, but just too much Tribe at one time, and I think once again it comes down to the consistency across the board. Yeah, Stamina's got these couple of players that are popping off, but when you got a guy at 6 and 20, it's just going to be so difficult to beat Tribe. We were talking about it yesterday, even after the show. I felt like Grizz was going to be the X factor for Stamina, and he's got to up his game right now if they're going to be able to win.
Actually, Ali made a really good point. Only 2 people really just pop off at Stamina, and the rest of the players are doing their job as a whole. And that's what Stamina needs, but they did deliver here in this raid domination. Unfortunately for them, it didn't really work out at the very end. But I just want to talk about that last few moments that we saw. The struggle when Bravo was captured by Tribe, they just kept going for B over and over again, even though they were having a hard time. With that, if you're a player and you're going up against Tribe and you're losing all of your gunfights here in mid, go for Charlie, because no one's going to be there. It was so open at that last half that they could have just had that AC split.
Yeah, it's a tough one to hold. It's really a difficult decision to make, and it seemed like they had the top laundry control, but there was only one person on that side of the map for Stamina, and one person's not going to be able to stop a 3-man push toward B, and I think they need to go for a little bit more map control in those positions, whether it's the hard point, whether it's the domination. That seems like the one thing they really need to focus on, because that's going to raise those KDs as well. That's going to lower the gap. That's going to prevent Tribe from getting as many score streaks, as many operators. Once again, it's those tiny decisions that make the difference at this level.
Now this is going to be very scary because we're going into that hardpoint matchup in Summit. And now we already know that Stamina is having a hard time in those respawns going in here. We thought it was going to be the opposite. We thought Stamina would actually have a chance at the respawns and really just lose out on the SMP, but it seems like it's the other way around. What Stamina needs to do, and this is the most essential play that they have, is to perform here in Summit. We already know Tribe. They slay every single time, and with a map like Summit, with a map as small as Summit, with all of the angles that you have there, you need to win every single one of your gunfights right. But that R9, we saw a player yesterday really absolutely pop off here. And with Stamina, having one player use that might make him have an advantage.
Yeah, this could be exactly what Grizz needs to finally build a little bit of momentum, and we talked about before, Stamina is very much a momentum-based team. They need him to be at his A game for them to be able to beat Tribe, and like you mentioned, this is a big opportunity. Summit is just absolute heaven for the R9.
And with that said, let's take a look at what all of these guys look like. Stamina, obviously, same kind of reaction as to what we've seen the past 2 look-ins. Very calm here. They haven't really, shown any sort of emotion, which is what they need because they're just that focused in the game. And so we were talking about it a while ago with these boys. They need to step it up because these guys only have 2 star players to their team so far. It's Inferno, it's going to be Drari that have been delivering every single time. We need the other 3 boys to pick things up. And now this is the time to do so. Grizz, I think he might shine here because of that R9 shotgun in hand.
Yep, we'll see if they can bring it here up against Tribe. Only one respawn map dropped throughout the entirety of the tournament so far, and Shift gonna send down to bottom side, down by the carriage. Grizz with that R9, top side, gets shut down immediately, and it's part of the risk of the shotgun. Yeah, if you land your shots, it's a one-shot, but there is not a whole lot of room for error with that. Child's not going to be able to find Inferno over the hop-up right there. Contested point right now. It's going to be Tribe coming away with the time, but Ferrari hopping on down, looking to have himself another game like we've seen him do all day. Marcy with the shutdown right there. That's going to be a crucial one to maintain for Tribe, and they have complete control of Control Center right now.
That is not going to be good for Stamina. They need to win all of their gunfights right now. And going back to that shotty, you need to have all of your shots going down, and you actually don't get to see Grizz sport that from far away. That was actually pretty impressive to have that sort of range, but it's not going to be a one-shot type of shotgun. You need to have that fast fire rate, yes, but you need to make every single hit count. But now finally we get to see Stamina with the scrap points, but they need to have 2F control, Bobby, or else P2 is going to be very hard in Catwalk.
This is a huge break for Stamina right here. Grizz finding some momentum, but those are shots you got to hit. Can't be missing those at that close of a range. Marshy's off to a really strong start, 6-1 so far. Stamina have a solid break right there, but you got to be able to maintain. And right now, that's what Shiv's looking to do on the bottom side. A whole lot of Tribe players up above him. If you got any type of utility in your Stamina, you want to make sure that you're completely raining down on that top side. And Tribe taking a while to make the push on down. Inferno is going to drop it. Envy sliding in the backside, but there's too much. Drari, I believe that's a double kill for him. He's going to stay alive as well. And once again, the one-man show for this Stamina squad, trying to do everything that they can.
That solo hold for Drari was essential points to their name that gave his teammates enough time. That hard point was basically open for the last how many seconds, and no one was able to push, and Stamina still was able to go in there, but Envy finally, big kills, getting that double, really getting a lot of the scrap points, but the rotation already coming in from Tribe Gaming into P3, and you don't want to get spawn trapped by Tribe.
Mommy, we're not going to talk about the 5-piece that you just saw? What? Envy just wiped their entire team off the map. Oh my goodness. That was a high-value concussion nade right there. Pred Missile going to come in for Envy. One of the streaks that he earned from that big-time beat, and he is 16-4 off the start. Grizz on 11, we knew this was going to be his opportunity to start warming up. We do have Stamina on the point right now, but they don't have spawn control. Nade going to drop Grizz off the point. And just like that, Tribe's back on, and this is where they want to be. Spawning on strong side, and they've got one player in the back anchoring things in Bolu. Going to be tough for Stamina to get a break from this side.
See, this is what happens when you're too busy looking at the mini-map. You miss a 5-piece. You know what? I'm not going to be able to miss that one again. I'm for sure with that one. We get to see Stamina trying to go in there for the contest, but unfortunately for them, Tribe a little bit too strong to hold. But then one person coming in from the flank, it's going to be Shift, making a difference, trying to win that gunfight, and finally, just 10 seconds on the clock though. Scrap points all to you, my good sir. But there's going to be 2 players already from Stamina poised and positioned to take the next hard point.
This is a big opportunity. They get that scrap time. They had players pushed out. One of them's on the point, and who else but Drari on top of the hard point, getting the kills and able to get that initial time for his team. He's going to get dropped by Marshy right there. Nobody on the point for either team right now, but Envy's still got a lot of streaks to work with. It's going to be Stamina picking up some more time right here, and Chels wins the break right there. It's going to be the thumper coming on out. Players from Stamina from the top side pushing on in. This is definitely going to be a really back and forth one, and Grizz finally finding that momentum. A 2-piece can't make it 3. That would have been huge to shut down the death machine in the hands of Bolu. But still, we talked about the fact that they need those other players to show up, and right now that's happening.
Now, this is surprising to me. Tribe had every single one of advantage over Stamina in this hill. They had spawn. They just had a little trip going in there, but then Stamina was already prepared to go in there. Yes, even though they were able to get flushed out, in return, they kept going inside and contesting and eventually getting a lot of points, 74 and 89 already to their name. Rotation needs to come back into control room where everything will go down. This is going to be a very hard hill to go and have, but this seems to be like the worst hill for Stamina because they barely got enough points in that first half.
Bolu's going to have to deal with a whole lot of Stamina players right now. Shift slides the corner. Will he be able to get the kill? That was a huge gunfight, but Bolu's going to win it. Inferno's there for the trade. Huge drop down. Grizz on the way in as well. Band right around the corner, but it's Tribe players getting the right angles. They're going to be able to find the kills right there. They're back in control on P1. Envy the king of this map right now. Last time we checked, he was triple positive, and there is just no stopping him right now. Child's gonna find one as he hops down as well, and Grizz, the only hope for Stamina to get a break right here with Death Machine in hand. Contest goes in for Drari. Once again, you need more help from the other players, and right now across the board, just too much consistency for Tribe, and look at Envy, 33-11 right now.
33-11. You already know that that guy is going to be fully streaked out by the end, especially going into Catwalk, where it will be raining missiles, cluster strikes, spread missiles, give it whatever you want. It's going to be so difficult to go in here, but 116 and 83 will definitely be a score that's not going to be hard to catch up if you are Stamina.
Yep, Shift pushes on in. Big gunfight win right there. Drari, Grizz backing him up. Child's on the top side. They need that information. They don't seem to have it. A 3-feet goes in for Tribe again. And it just seems like the communication was not there for Stamina. They had the guys, but they couldn't find the kills. Bolu's going to pull out a Death Machine as well. It just feels like too much Tribe right now. Drari's going to try to push his way in now. Death Machine in hand, and they get some more time. You gotta hope that there's not too many streaks in play for Tribe with the amount of kills that they've amassed. And honestly, incredibly impressive that Stamina is still in this given the KD gap. I don't think anybody's in the negative for Tribe right now. Their rotations have been so good. Finding those breaks and making the most of those one-man pushes. It's gonna be Grizz with that shotgun in hand. He's got 24 now, but time keeps ticking on down. Child's Death Machine, 3-piece. That should seal the deal right here. Bolu on the hard point. Dart's gonna make that one final push. Grizz there as well, but it's not enough. Tribe Gaming overwhelms Stamina, and they take the win 3-1.
And there you go. That is the reason why Tribe has always been here in the first place. Hashtag fear the Tribe. And there you go. With one more game, Stamina definitely didn't really take it very well. There were a lot of bright points for this team. And I feel like the usage of the R9, yes, Grizz was popping off there, but every single one of their players just lacked the rotation, lacked the power position. 2F, there was no Stamina presence there at all.
It's just really tough to counter a guy going 33-11. Like, you can do everything you can. You can have the early rotations. You can get power position. But if you're getting outgunned every single time, there's just no counter for it. And I think that's a lot of what it comes down to for this run from Tribe that we're seeing. Any one of those players can pop off. We have seen every single one of those guys have a pop-off game at some point in the tournament. There's just not a lot that you can do to counter that.
I mean, you get to see 33 kills, but with Bolu in 19, he made very important kills as well, where he was the only one holding into the hill. And just take a look at that score right now. I mean, obviously it says Stamina. Stamina right there, but it's a wrong icon, by the way. Tribe Gaming, 1 summon, hardpoint 150-97. But taking a look at firing range 150 and 127 into the favor of Tribe, and this is where things started to turn around. Around really for the favor of Stamina, where 6-4, no one expected that at all. And unfortunately for them, they also lost Raid and Summit. They were supposed to win Summit, and Standoff was supposed to be their game to really win. But with that into consideration, with all of those points, I really want the desk to go and break it down. Bucket, Alley, Shift, take it away.
Thank you very much, Beef Mommy, and I think Bobby kind of nailed it on the head there, that we saw somebody pop off in that last game. He wasn't on our MVP watch list, but Envy's name has been added, okay? So I feel like everyone from Tribe's still in the running for that, but this was a heck of a series, and you talked about it earlier, Shift. It could have been Stamina up 2-0 in this series, but Tribe Gaming at the end of this one, chilled, clutching up, gave them the edge, and this was the momentum they needed today.
Make your own point, why don't you bucket? Everybody from Tribe can put out an MVP performance, and it was Chilled to shut down that final rotation, give some breathing room, and allow Tribe to get back in. The search and destroy, though, it was fast and furious. It looked like Tribe was going to set off the tempo, work this with a really fast pace, and then just overwhelm Stamina. But the recovery that Stamina showed in this search and destroy was immaculate.
And I think it was a 4-1 start, or at least 4-2, Ali. This was Stamina just clutching up, and Drari really showing his strength in this game.
Yeah, we touched on the SD a lot, how Drari and Bruno really just kind of put their team in the backpack there. Sure, there was some information, like I said, from Grizz pushing up in the spawn multiple times, but it really was just those two, even going into the domination and the hard point as well. And unfortunately, there's only so much they can do. There was 3 key points in that domination. It was the Goliath call on B by Marshy super early in the game, and then Narcs actually gets a death machine, finally seeing some life out of the rest of their teammates, but none of his teammates push up on the B site. So he's sitting there getting control of Lambo Street, getting all these kills, and nobody's going for the B cap. He ends up falling, and then tried to do the call to push A site. They all fall except for one player, and Chalids was the one that was still alive, and he didn't kill anybody. However, his pressure was enough to force Stamina to back up and try to contest that point, and that's what got them the pressure to be able to push up onto the B site and sign the rest of the domination.
Once again, I want to remind you, the official smartphone of the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship is Sony's Xperia 1 Mark III. Get yours today and unlock the rewind time feature. Get all of your favorite clips up and on Twitter in just seconds here. Shift, a fantastic device for all of our players using today.
Look, I'm telling you, clips that I play on COD Mobile don't come often. When they do, got the safety blanket of that rewind time. It's really awesome. Plus the fact that, you got to keep those thumbs nice and cool. I love the way they kind of reroute the power to make the screen always stays cool for you. And of course, every bit of conversation that's been surrounding esports and FPS games in the last 8 years has been, what kind of hertz and refresh can I get? So the fact that you're getting 120 hertz refresh rate with fluid motion on this is unbelievable. It definitely throws mobile esports into the top tier conversation for what the capabilities look like.
And I was talking to Ali a little bit about this. We have been amazed of the shots that we are seeing these players make, the slide shots that they are hitting. I did not know you could play this level on a cell phone, the Xperia 1 Mark III, making it easy for our players. Moving forward, we've got 2 teams in the winner's bracket. 2 teams, though, are still in the loser's bracket. And again, if you win this matchup, you're guaranteed top 3. You're adding $50,000 to the $75K you already made. So as this one goes on, I know Tribe is an early favorite. Stamina might get their rematch. They'll have to go through a Silim before that. Before we get to our next match, though, I want to talk with our champions, and we've got Bolu on the line to break down his last game. Bolu, welcome to the show. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
Awesome, man. I gotta be honest. I went to your YouTube channel to get ready for this show. Thank you for all the content you've been putting out, and you guys have been putting out some insane games over the last 2 days. So tell me about the feeling coming off this win. It looked like Stamina was your biggest challenger yet. Do you believe that's true?
I'd agree. They definitely brought some new things to the table. For example, the crime bombs they had. I haven't seen that in quite a while. I think that was quite interesting. But I think we just had a good game in the first half on firing range. But yeah, I think overall we just played better than them mechanically. But I have to give them credit for the strategy they brought.
The whole fan base was worried about you earlier this year when you suffered your injury. Are you back at 100%?
Yeah, my arm is fully straightened out, if you can see, so we're 100%.
All right.
When I was playing, when I was playing stage 4, my arm was like this, like in a 90-degree angle, but I've made great progress with my arms. I play at 100% at this event.
And you guys have been flexing on people with your arms. Tell me a little bit about your teammate Envy, though. He wasn't really in our conversation yesterday. You guys were 3-0ing people before we could get to your stream. This was our first chance to sit down and watch a full series. Tell me about your teammate who closed out that game 4.
Envy, definitely a great guy. He's right there. I appreciate David carrying that game. For me, I was just sitting back holding spawns. I kind of wanted to push up against the kills, but I saw him getting all the kills, all the teammates here. I was like, okay, you guys can do whatever. I'll just pick up the scrap time and hold the spawns.
Bolu, the chat is going wild for you right now. Is there anything you want to say to the Tribe fans who have been cheering you on since the start of this season?
I want to say that going into this tournament, I didn't expect to make it this far, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going in against ARP.
It's going to be a great matchup. We're excited for it. Congratulations on your win. You're banking 125K, still on the road to that $300,000 in the first place trophy. Good luck, Bolu.
Thank you.
That is Tribe Gaming. They're able to lock up the 3-1 victory in our first round of the winners bracket. Then we play in APR a little bit later, or ARP, excuse me, a little bit later. We still have our lower bracket matchup still to come, but before we get to that, we want to give a shout out to one special player who is making a statement throughout this series, and he didn't come from the winning team, Allie. Drari was doing some insane stuff despite the loss.
You know what, the second you said that, obviously Drari instantly came to my mind. We saw him really start popping off during the SD. Didn't see a whole lot of it during the hardpoint, but as you watch replays now, I mean, he's just constantly getting 2-3 kills for his team to put them in a favorable position for this SD, and that's why they are one of the only teams to take a map off of Tribe Gaming. Again, Tribe Gaming have only lost 2 maps. One has been somehow considered a troll, but this one was definitely on the competitive level.
And Drari, of course, not only dropping the big kills, he had the ninja defuse towards the end. He just stuck it, and they were able to lock it in for the S&D victory. We hope to see Stamina a little bit later, but that's Drari making a statement. And of course, he was rocking his Razer headset. If you don't have the Black Shark V2, check it out online right now. I guarantee you are going to love this headset. I rock it at home, especially when I'm traveling, especially this little knob on the left side. You can crank up your audio any time of day, depending on how much music you want to go with your Fragfest. Shout out to Razer, shout out to all of our sponsors, and shout out to the fans who are tuning in from around the world. 2 matches are done, and this is how the bracket is looking after our early action. At the start of the day, it was ARP going up against Sicilium, and we saw a very strong performance out of ARP. Shift, you called this one before the show. They're living up to the hype. Now Tribe doing the same.
Yeah, I think expectations were largely just off of what maps that we got. And I hate to kind of put that in one dimension, but that's the thing that we were looking at ARP and Sicilium. They kind of rode, I won't say a one-trick map set all the way through yesterday, but really ARP kind of did. And the fact that they were able to get away with it versus Sicilium led to that 3-0. The cleanliness they showcased on Search and Destroy was very notable, and that's going to have to be there again when they get to that winners finals matchup versus Tribe.
Yeah, we got that winners final. We've got that losers final now with Stamina and Sicilium. How do you feel about the 2 EU teams matchup in the losers bracket?
I mean, I'm feeling bad. I mean, both of them, I mean, even though the games in Stamina were maybe a little bit closer than comfort for Tribe, both teams lost series out 3-0 and 3-1. So going into the losers final, they have got to change something up. Both these teams, neither of them went on the full run in the winners bracket, and now it is do or die, one more match for them to compete for $300,000.
I want to hear your predictions, chat. Put it in there right now. I'll be reading it during the break. When we come back, another series coming at you from the World Championships of Call of Duty Mobile.
everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to where
We are back. If you didn't know it, Call of Duty Mobile Season 10 is out right now, and you can just see the 2 new characters you can get your hands on. Bobby, best part of Season 10 for you?
Oh, I love the SVD. It's the best sniper that COD Mobile's ever had. It's super fun to use. You definitely gotta try it.
Yeah, you're just gonna be blaming people all day long. Beef Mommy, awesome gear you can get, and of course this is the 10th season here for Call of Duty Mobile. It is our first Western Finals though, and we are getting towards the end of this one. Already we have 2 teams waiting in our losers bracket.
I can't believe we're already in our halfway point where we've seen such greatness in day number 1, in our first matchup today, in our second match where we saw teams where we thought they're gonna be easily 3-0'd, get one from a really strong team like Tribe. Now, that's going to be some sort of rhythm. That's going to be dictating the pace of the day today, that it's basically going to be unexpected.
We got to take a look at this series matchup here because this is now an elimination match. They're guaranteed $75,000. If you win it, you're taking home 3rd place at a minimum and $125K. So 3 huge wins here is what I'm saying to my team. All we need, 3 wins for $50,000 bonus. Bobby, when you're breaking down this series, Asilium on the left, Stamina who just played on the right, both coming out of EU. They're familiar with each other, a little bit of a rivalry here. Who has the advantage?
Oh, I 100% have to give the advantage to Stamina, like you mentioned. They have a little bit of history, and the last time these 2 teams went up against each other, it was stage 4, and Stamina absolutely steamrolled Asilium. It was not close, and Inferno was the guy that popped off. He's been having himself a good day, and I'm expecting that to continue.
There's a look at the breakdown of all 5 maps. Is it gonna go the distance? It's time to find out. Let's send it over to our casters. We got Alley Cat and I Hold Shift.
Pocket, I'm not gonna lie to you. The series layout does not look all that great for a second state series for Asilium outside the firing range hardpoint, but they have to wait to map 4 to get there. So you've got to find a win somewhere in the first 3, Allie, in my mind.
I'm literally standing right there with you. As soon as I saw that standoff hardpoint, I was like, Asilium is already struggling with their hardpoints and their respawns, and stamina going into today is 3-0 on standoff hardpoint. So I don't know how they let that one slip by, as that seems to be the theme of today. But let's hop right into the action. Asilium versus stamina in our first losers round 1.
Got to start off hot here for Asilium. I think if you could get this to a map 4 and get to that comfort pick of the firing range hardpoint, maybe there is a chance somewhere. You also got to keep in mind that Asilium is a great domination team, but maybe not so much on Summit. We'll see how things unfold. Let's just get into this action here, though. Standoff first and foremost. Stamina, great start. And really, like I mentioned, you know, kind of watching them play over Tribe, it wasn't that they were getting super beat by Tribe. They were just kind of, it was a series of misses. And I won't even say from their shots POV. It was missed opportunities and miscues that really kind of was the thorn in the side for Stamina. And so far off this first hard point, a near flawless start.
Yeah, right off this opening break, Stamina in the driver's seat, 30 seconds to 5, 20 seconds left in this hill. Need to start worrying about rotation here. Jazz almost had a really good positioning, waited for their teammates, but unfortunately there was no help, and when they overchowed, they just got taken down for a little bit of contest. And as you can see on your mini-map, this is all of Asilium just trying to get the scrap time and make their way across the map for P2, but first ones that's going to be there is Stamina.
Yeah, they've got a great zone just enveloping this entire hard point. Spawns for Asilium are all the way up to the top right-hand side. One player trying to sneak around the back, denied, as Stamina will walk on in and start soaking up even more hardpoint time. The next hit with gas station spawns for Asilium are going to have to be a break from the front. And Faints does find a first blood. This is going to open up some space here, especially with a little bit of pressure lurking from Jazz all the way back by White. So, hey, how about it? A little distraction play from Jazz, and Asilium are able to get a pretty easy break.
Something I wanted to see from Jazz is they are really good about getting behind the enemy lines and just kind of patiently waiting in corners. So to get in that top control, which allows all of Stamina having to kind of go for the hunt here to get their spawns back. That was great play out of Jazz to gain Asilium some time on this hill, but again, it's going to be Stamina that's constantly contesting and flooding in. Some huge kills coming out of almost Grizz. He could shut down top window. 20 seconds left. Still with the 20-point lead is going to be Stamina, but Asilium's not letting this run away.
Yeah, Balance, really nice job here just to play his life and do what he can to make sure this hard point stays contested, and the rest of his team are just letting him do this while they go on rotation, trying to win over by hay bales. Shift the first player there, but denied. Grizz Drari following up, able to clean things up, and Sphinx was really the last hope to make much happen in the middle of the map. So now, the next hit, 3 members for Asilium, back around towards where the A site would be, and really they're just being hard blocked out by where this tank is. This has been a near flawless hold for Stamina, and Drari's going to add in a death machine just to help lock it down.
Man, I'm a big fan of Marvel, but he was hitting old as new was getting popped, and he was in a pretty useless gunfight from the last player of Stamina that was just holding that scrap time, and that really hurt his team, not only spawn-wise, but pressure side on the front side of the hill. So the first 20 seconds is going in the bag of Stamina here. A little bit of pressure from Asilium in this back hallway, but it's not enough to get in the hill.
Yeah, Grizz number 5 in red just hits a little mini pinch through Diner, cleans up the entirety of this hit, leaving Asilium just kind of split up across the entirety of the map. Sure, a couple of players will spawn close to the hard point, but they just don't have the numbers. Faints and Shark are already on rotation back to White, and yeah, sure, maybe a little bit of a play here for Jazz for some scrap time, but Stamina with the first 45 seconds here in the third hill are just happy to walk away with a huge lead.
Asilium investing a lot in these last couple of seconds, and it's hurting them because it's forcing them to spawn all the way out at old, but Faints and Shark were really important there. They stayed alive just long enough at the next hill to allow their teammates to push across the map for hopefully a more favorable situation, as nobody is truly in control of the hill just yet. The first to touch it is going to be Asilium. They could come back here on this hill. 50 seconds on the clock, only down 40, and Jazz has pulled out the death machine to lock it down.
Needs to just clean the thing up towards Box's spot. Oh, puts it down, and Drari punishes. That will be good enough for not just the neutralization of this operator, but also a repossession of the hard point. Balance has to commit an operator of his own, but Grizz again able to foil it by hitting the flank. Shark looking to YY the reload, not going to happen. It's 3 straight kills for Grizz, and Stamina looking close to being able to break past that 100-point mark, and as they eventually overwhelm, they will do just that.
Asilium needs to start waiting for their teammates here. I'm seeing a lot of one person sliding in by themselves, not waiting for really any help or any chance of any trade outs. 51 to 112. Stamina looking to close this out here within the next hard point. I mean, they're already on rotation as well. Number 2, that's going to be Jazz hitting old once again. That is 8 seconds. You got to work your way all the way across the map to get some more control, get rid of that scrap time, because it's certainly not going to save this game.
Goliath getting called down by Grizz. It looks like he's going to leave that for a teammate as Narks will pick it up. Nice little scan over, looking for where this cluster strike will be best placed, and says, why not just go ahead and throw it right onto the hard point. Number 4 in red is Drari. He will step on in as soon as his hard point opens up, and Stamina are putting this game well and truly out of reach. And here's the thing, as this starts to wind down, Asilium's hard point has been a cluster, really, you know, outside of their firing range and maybe their takeoff, but here on standoff, there wasn't really any really great moments anywhere on the map for them.
Balance and Shark were in a nice position to kind of collapse down into that Goliath, but they couldn't get the kills. They got traded out, and the rest of Asilium, I mean, they're so far away from the hard point. They are so dependent on these faraway picks to then make their way in that they are just losing so much initial time. They're getting this last 20 seconds now, but 20 seconds is all Stamina needs to close out this map 1. This is do or die. You do not want to drop this early in the series.
Yeah, you look at the KDs who's been on our screen here for a minute. If they're not getting too heavily outslayed, but look at the objective time. You've got 3 players over 70 seconds inside the hard point for Stamina. Nobody really above 30 for Asilium. That would have to change here, and, well, it's do or die time right here for Asilium. They do have the opportunity to try to play this through gas stations, but more red arrows than blue ones as we open up the hill. Stamina able to use those numbers to open up the hard point favorably. 1 more to clean up, but hold on a second. A couple of proximal spawns, and Asilium will use that as a way to break on in and start earning some time.
Getting some time indeed. They could come back here if they hold all of this time as they are about to break the 100-point mark. 136 to 100. It's not impossible, especially when Valance has a thumper in hand. Stamina here looking to push in. Only 2 players are going to be close enough for the contest. That's going to be Marvel in the back that finds both and helps his teammates. This is huge time on the side of Asilium.
As every LL Cool J fan out there knows, don't call it a comeback, but Asilium are starting to earn up some of their operators to get back into this. Jazz operating into the death machine right now. Feints already getting the Dragonfire in play, but this rotation, a testy one. Stamina, all 5 members ready to go, trying to lock this up as Asilium will get close, if not be able to tie, if not retake the lead. All of a sudden, an extra life has been breathed into the lungs, and it's down to Stamina to see, can they actually hold this, or will another miscue possibly foil their plans for a map 1 win?
What are they doing? The way they have a death machine called out mid, why are you nowhere near the hill? Why is Balance mid-map in the top building? Why are you not putting the pressure on? They need 8 seconds to take this game away. You are moving way too slow. They are calling everything in, and they just can't get up the stairs to contest. Asilium, what was a breath of life back into that series, just absolutely choked it.
Little freeze bombs at the doorway. Yikes. Oh, that's so tough. It's just like, I can get there. But man, here's the thing. The way that I was framing it up, just kind of looking back over Stamina versus Tribe, all of the respawns that we saw, it was just subtle miscues here and there from Stamina that kept them out of the running. Almost cost them again, and that's good news for Asilium. It's just unfortunate that it took you that long to get into the game.
I definitely agree. In the series I always saw Stamina, it was a lot of just itty-bitty missteps, but for the side of Asilium, they were just getting scrap time. That entire game, it was simply just them continuously getting scrap time and 20 seconds here and there, and that was enough to barely keep them in it, and it took 1 hill to tie up the game, but they were just playing way too slow. They were way too far away from hill. There was literally a death machine called top mid building. The hard point's across the map. Yeah. At least wait till you get to bottom steps to walk up with it, do something, but they were nowhere near the hill for the next rotation, and that's inevitably why they couldn't make the comeback.
And again, I look at this map series layout as we'll look back over what was initially a great start on this standoff for Stamina. Asilium worked their way back in, but the thing is, you've got to get to that map 4. And even still, Stamina's not a bad firing range team. Like, really, they got both of their preferred hardpoint picks in this map series set, and that's the second time that we look back towards the veto and pick process where you have to question how prepared was Asilium to go into today, because they're not even getting their own preferred picks based on the statistics we saw yesterday. It's still encouraging, though, to look back over and say, hey, you just made about a 70-point comeback almost be reality, just missing out on 1 rotation at the end.
I will give it to them that this map was 100% in favor of Stamina going into it. Regardless, again, 3-0 win ratio coming into this specific hardpoint. However, Cilium is really bad at response. They're really bad at hardpoint.
Yeah,
So if they're going to go anywhere, they're going to go in the S&D. And I would say Stamina has been struggling in S&D, but they just took that off Tribe.
Yeah.
They just took a 6-4 S&D off of Tribe, the unbeatable team from yesterday. So now we're going into this, going off of the momentum of winning that map 1, going off of the fact that they are playing for $300,000 and are already in losers bracket. Cilium has to change something.
Yeah, it's a changing your stars type thing because, again, I believe you when you say that, hey, the hard point needs to be much more tuned up. Good sign of life from Cilium there in map number 1, but a missed opportunity to maybe steal away a map that Stamina would have felt pretty comfortable taking. You look at the head-to-head matchup here between these two squads, and really the big thing, I look down towards that overall KD, because for Cilium, 2 of their players outside the top 50 total players that we had from yesterday, not even getting past a 0.9 KD. That's not good when there's only 60 total players. Someone has to step up today for Cilium to realistically help where Jazz set the tone, because he looked great throughout yesterday. He's been very complete, very solid, but somebody else needs to step up if they want to try to keep pace with the Stamina roster.
Heading into this SD, I'm looking at player matchups right now, and I think for the side of Cilium, I'm looking at Marvel and Jazz to match the aggression of Inferno and Drari again.
Sure.
If you are going against Stamina right now and you just watched that last series against Tribe, it was all Drari in Inferno. So heading into this S&D, that's going to be their win condition at this point, is do not let them start getting on a spree.
Yeah, and you know, this is the other thing. You look back at my notes, it's like Cilium's best map yesterday, and the only map they found wins on Search and Destroy was firing range.
Yeah.
So if it's been vetoed out, good on their opponents to be doing their homework. On the other front, you know, what does the depth of your Search and Destroy pool look like? Because you're absolutely right. Stamina's weakest mode, at least historically across the course of yesterday, and even dating back to Stage 4, has largely been circling around the Search and Destroy. But if you're going to change your stars, no better way to do it than doing it up against a team like Tribe in their first overall matchup, which they were able to take that Hack the Yard. The thing about it is, this is not Hack the Yard. Very different style map coming up.
Now, I know I talk about player matches, but players to watch going to S&D for both of these teams. Again, I already said Marvel and Jazz it is for me. More specifically at Marvel in his snipes, maybe put Feints in there as well, as we've seen both of them pulling out the snipers when it comes to their Search and Destroys. Stamina, though, we're hoping for the wake-up from Grizz specifically. Are you on the same page as me for that?
Yeah, and hey, looking over Team Stamina, they have been in their element, even throughout the loss that they were kind of suffering through Tribe. And a lot of it, I think, just comes down to, can you take those very specific moments where you had a couple of missteps and miscues and then immediately correct them? Almost foiled them again in map number 1, but still, the fact of the matter is, they're not letting it get to them fully. Nice recovery through that third hard point. We saw them kind of coming into the matchup versus Tribe, even after a loss. It looked like they were getting good comms from the coach. They were kind of communicating what they wanted to set up. And one of the things that really was largely successful for them, talking about Search and Destroy specifically, was their set pieces in the back half of the Hack the Yard. So can you come out with some good executing strategies here to maybe take an edge early against this Cilium team?
Well, as we see, fist pumps across the board for Stamina. I'm assuming that means we're about to hop in to our game 2. And as I say that, here we go. Stamina up 1-0 in our losers round 1. Cilium needs to start playing together, start playing for each other's trades. Let's see if they'll change it up here in the Search and Destroy.
And the big question is, if you do run 2 scopes here for Cilium, where do you put them? Marvel says, how about mid-match shift? And he says, okay, cool. And Feints also able to get involved. That's number 4, top side raid. So first 2 kills, good for Cilium, and some really good early defensive pressure being established here.
What an incredible first round for the likes of Cilium. That's exactly what they needed. They ended up taking down Inferno, but we've seen Drari and what he can do. He takes 2 down before Jazz gets the hit. The trade is there. 3v2 though, not impossible. As soon as I say that, 1v3 balance though finishes the last kill on shift. A good answer from Cilium to go up 1-0 in the Search and Destroy.
The other thing I want to kind of bring up here for Stamina as they take the first round is, sure, we continue to mention that their Search and Destroy is their weakest mode, but none of the losses that they suffered yesterday were bad losses. Everything went to at least round 9, if not round 10 and 11. And with that in mind, it just goes to show that they are staying competitive through each of these maps. So let's see what they have in store here. How about a set nade from Ship? That works for first blood, but immediately countered as Feints finds a pick over toward the middle of the map. And with that, a split setup here for Stamina. They need to figure out what they want to do in a 4v4.
A lot of over-aggression on Drari here, but he is able to do it. As we've seen most of his gunfights go out so far, he pulls out the thumb for maybe some information on the B side. I think he gets it, but Feints gets a hot snipe on Narcs and makes it a 4v3. Bomb's actually going to rotate through mid-shift, almost gets caught out. He manages to stay alive. That is going to be Feints on the chase, though. Gonna see him pushing up through mid. He might get traded out here. Inferno's looking down. Feints knows that he's here. He's gonna try and take the gunfight with the Calamity.
Jazz, come help. There it is. Finally, I was about to say, Faints has been sitting inside this rock garden for the entirety of the round. And the fact that he was able to find one in the first place was immaculate, let alone the fact that he stayed alive long enough for the teammate to help collect the second. So now Asilium, 3v2, but a retake required. Shift and Drari, playing opposite sides of the bomb, trying to spread this Asilium retake as thin as possible. Shots into Marvel, but he stays alive. GS in hand, Faints working with him. Jazz trying to get the isolation, but Drari from the other side able to help out. There's the trade. Now a 1v2. Time becoming a bit of a problem with 20 seconds. Drari able to maybe get a lineup, but only finds a couple of tags. Now an opportunity for Marvel, but a sliding sniper shot takes care of Drari, and Asilium respond back to tie us up at 1.
The numbers were against him, but Drari was in a favorable position there to get both of them, but unfortunately the shots just weren't connecting in his favor. Marvel was able to hit the sniper shot to put them up 2-0 in the SD, an absolute blindsided from their first hard point.
Man. And look, first and foremost, the fact that Faints should have been isolated in the middle of the map and stayed alive to find a kill and help to collect a second. That very well could have been the linchpin for success in round number 2. So now, balance. Immediately down open stairs. Here's a sound cue on Inferno, who cannot turn in time to respond. So another first blood tallied for Asilium, whose defense is starting to really look pretty darn solid.
5v4. Bomb has been planted at the B site. 40 seconds now on the clock. All 5 members of Asilium, you're making it way through the back. Grizz actually does find one. We talked about how we need to see a little bit more out of him. He does get traded out though. Look at the red on your mini map though. They are just waiting for this fire as they slide right in. Drari wins his one. This could be a round in favor of Stamina. 3v2. Faints ends up falling to the likes of Drari again. 1v3 will get traded out. Finally, Stamina go on the board.
Yeah, and Asilium, it's a really difficult decision right there. You've got 3 members committing to rotating through kitchen to hit through screens for this B retake, while Jazz is the only one sitting back at spawn towards jungle, required to have won a 1v2, only gets one of the 2 in front of him. So response from Stamina with a little bit of a more aggressive look towards B. This time, all 5 members over towards the A site. Defensively, Asilium not in a position to respond to this, as the only contestant that would be nearby is number 2 in Jazz. He's got some smoke cover. Wait a second, he's right behind the play. He's got one in front, able to find the first, not tallying the second though, as Stamina gets the response, but that puts a hold as the bomb carrier drops and nobody can plant.
Big Jazz play. Talked about Jazz needing to play patient and aggressive at just the right time. That smoke was the perfect cover to sneak past all 5 members of Stamina. Not only shoot a player in the back, but also give chance for Shark and Balance to clean up the rest of the match.
Okay, Asilium. Corrections from yesterday looking much better, because like we continue to mention, outside of their play and firing range, all of their losses came with really a label and a brand of humiliation. But here in the defensive half, solid stuff on Rain. More aggression, this time from Stamina. Looking to once again just flood on in towards the A site. First one forward is Grizz, of course it is. Balance up top, shots good for 1. But with that, the bomb still made its way into basketball. The next one up would be Shark. A couple of the shots trying to deal with the trophy system. I don't know if he actually fully depleted it, and with that, Shift gets a free plant off.
Drari expecting the Jazz push this time. Nothing free B here, but they are down 5-2. Number 3 in your mini map, that's going to be Narcs, actually still deep in spawn, but Faints is actually going all the way through the back, so the timing here might work in their favor. Stamina, Drari finds 2 Starks, and Narcs, finds Marvel. That's 3 down, 1v4. Last player is going to be the one on the flank. That's going to be Faints, and I'm pretty sure Narcs got wind of it as well, so as you can see, all 4 players on your mini map are just waiting for the free pick.
Yeah, love the setup from Stamina, and not to pause after you lose first blood due to the player sitting in a money window is really good discipline, just committing to the execution. So Stamina respond, close out the half just down 1. We swap the sides. And now the question falls on to how, if at all, is Asilium going to be able to rock these double snipers for offensive aggression, because we know Stamina loves to get aggressive from their defense. We're already getting wind of that as both Shift and Grizz have pushed past the B site and are taking control of Ring.
What they really have to worry about is Shift though, because he has a perfect angle right now, but he will get cleaned up by Shark. Big first blood out of them. This should be a free plant on the B side now. The only one left for the side of Stamina is going to be Inferno, who's had a bit of a slow start in our S&D thus far. Drari though coming out the back through mid smoke. He's getting a couple free kills, but he will get cut out by Jazz. 4v3. Bomb still has yet to go down. We might see him down.
Smokes will start to dissipate, but Inferno gets pushed off the angle towards top laundry, trying to pixel peek through the side window. Nothing there. Grizz still holding on to mid screens, while the last member defensively for Stamina would be Narcs, who started to finally make his rotation over to play the outer edges of the laundry building. Inferno for 1. Asilium still have 2 players playing passively behind and around red. But with that, the trades allow now a 2v2 opportunity. Shark down low, does not find the elimination. Last player left this Faints. He's just got a sniper and a pistol. No one's on the defuse as of yet, though, but of course Faints does not know that, and as he goes to check, it's Inferno who plays the gatekeeper to win the kill, and with that, we're going to be tied up as 3. Defuse coming through from Grizz.
First of all, I want to know why Faints was just sitting mid for that entire engagement. His teammates were dwindling down continuously, and he was just sitting there. He was literally not doing anything. And so then Shark goes for the 1v2 jowl for literally whatever reason, instead of waiting for his teammate to rotate, where he gets taken down, and then Faints is left in a 1v2 with the sniper in hand. Obviously, he's going to be coming from mid. He gets easy red. Now tied up in Search and Destroy, which was looking like a good map for Asilium. Stamina's pulled it right on back.
Habit shift, trying to change up where he wanted to play aggressively over towards B, taken down as the Lambo explodes. Marvel Faints trying to double scope through mid-map, but Narks gets the best of one as he picks through Kitchen, and number 5 in red is on a long flank. Grizz trying to clear out Zig, which means all the rest of the defenders can focus forward. Draw either one of them. Grizz able to get one off the flank, and look what that's done for Asilium. They're completely split apart. They've got no read on this whatsoever, and the only hope comes down to balance. He finds one while carrying the bomb through Laundry, and technically speaking, he shouldn't know the last 2 players are behind him, so a free rotation to A is on the cards.
It's not impossible. Bomb down 1v2. He has plenty of time to do it. The biggest problem is that he's going to have to go against Drari and Grizz, and again, Drari has been absolutely on one today.
He's going to play for the kills. That was a free plant. He knows that the challenge would have to come through mid-map, so he takes a corner inside of money, thinking there's no way they double chow this. Maybe I get one for free and then have an exit to rotate back to B, but on the opposite mindset, Stamina says, go ahead and plan. We'll just play the retake once we know where you are.
I'm not a big fan of this play shift. This is a very scared play, out of balance right now. If he just got that lay down, he could have taken a power position and back and watched for the player that would have rotated through spawn, but instead he gets caught out on the rotation over to the B site. 4-3. What was all in Asilium's cards is now getting picked slowly apart by the likes of Stamina.
It's a tough call, right? Like, it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda moment, I think, for balance, but when you've got a minute 5 on the clock and you're sitting there thinking, maybe I can pull a timing somewhere, it's tough. It's really, 6 of one, half a dozen of another, because we obviously didn't get the information. He had a free plan today, and like you mentioned, I agree with you, he would have had a free power angle to take maybe somewhere back by jungle, but regardless, that does not happen in this universe, and as we jump into the next round, opening kills come through for the scopes for Asilium, and Stamina's getting a little bit punished here for maybe a bit of over-aggression defensively.
After Faints gets that kill in deep spawn, I want to see him push up and help his teammates. After you get that first initial wrap, usually if there's not an insta-chow, there's not going to be another member on the other side of the team going for that deep flank, and it looks like that's exactly what Faints is going to do. This should be a round in the hands of Asilium. 5v1, they made it look easy. Bomb doesn't even need to go down. Inferno's the last one alive. He'll get cleaned out at pool steps. 4v4 tied up, a very closer than comfort search and destroy.
Yeah, the first page of the playbook for Asilium on offense has been really good. You let the scopes kind of watch over the push, and so far they've provided the majority of kills on this offensive half. The thing is, the second page is a bit of a draft, where, okay, first page doesn't really work out, what are we going to do to adapt? Our scopes aren't really in good spots to watch over the post plant, things like that. So we'll see how that unfolds here, as they still need 2 more rounds, and they being either team in this instance, tied up at 4. Smoke will encompass the front door here towards A, but there are 2 defense members for Stamina waiting for this. Even though they lose first blood, defensively they're in a pretty solid spot, and Drari makes known his position, but it doesn't make a difference. Collects 2, long flank in the same breath. That was Grizz who found the player lurking top bedroom, and all of a sudden Asilium have nothing to work with in this 2v3.
Man, Faints is always watching the flank, and the fact that Grizz wins that gunfight is just like signing off the round for Asilium. Once that back end, you lose your sniper through your spawn, and not to mention 2 players already fell, and the push up to A. Bomb is down and out. This is going to be incredibly difficult for Jazz and Marvel.
Jazz may be an opportunity as he catches, well, very aggressive information on Grizz, who took shots at him from backside kitchen, but they will reset and move away. The thing about this is Stamina are very content just to hold on to basketball. I have to imagine they've seen the bomb down. So Grizz will reposition, play the rock backside jungle, and he'll get a pretty solid look at what you would feel like would be Asilium's play, trying to work around the back flank. Here it comes. Grizz gets the vocal call out. Jazz tagged up, dealt with. And now it just falls onto the shoulders of Marvel. And he is the sniper that was called out. This is the first shot. Pre-aims for the second, but just as he second guesses, Inferno slides out, wins the gunfight, no problem. And Stamina's defense holds strong to put him on map point.
Asilium's one of those teams that, like, I feel like once they win a round, it's very convincing. It's 5-1, nobody drops. you know, that round is theirs to have in the bag, but Trari 14-5, there's only so much that you can do. He has been playing lights out this entire day, and Stamina, I mean, I think I saw Shift was 2-6 at some point. Not that he needs to get kills, obviously Trari is racking them up for him, but Asilium, the second they lose one player, it's like all comms go to red.
Yeah. Marvel was looking for that, again, aggressive challenge in a 1v1 with Grizz, who, like you had mentioned a couple of rounds ago, you know what he's going to do. He continues to try to find a way to push backside red, whether it be through driveway or through red itself. And this time he wins the 1v1 and then very tactfully retreats back, knowing that the 5v4 is a very favorable setup for them. Stamina's been punished for their over-aggression at times, but this time they're going to make Asilium make a great round come through in a really difficult situation, already dropping one of their top killers in Marvel.
Bounds getting some aggressive information over on the B side, takes a couple shots to the head. Looks like the bomb's gonna make its rotation over to the A side, but it's gonna be Drari sitting here at pool circle, just waiting for anybody to make a peek. He got the information on Saints. It should be a free kill, and it is, and he manages to stay alive and blow the thumper for the 2. That puts Asylum, and it's 1v5. Drari picking it apart in the end. I would have had it any other way.
Wow, dude, that is some next level finesse from Drari. I mean, he's in a position at Tiki that you really just need him to get one. He's the only defender nearby, and his teammates are a mile away. He really just needs to find one kill and make the second difficult, and he says, well, I'm at Tiki Bar, I'm the bartender here making up drinks, hold this one, as he finds the second and the third. And that is bad news bears for Asilium as they find themselves down 0-2. And man, the search and destroy woes now starting to crop up, and that's not good news for a team that, you know, for Stamina, we were really questioning what their search was going to look like coming into today.
One job, Asilium, get your teammates trades. I feel like that's been that entire S&D. Just get your teammates trades. It feels like once one player falls on Asilium in an S&D round, that first blood goes out, all hell gets loose. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I mentioned, page 1 of the playbook looks good. Page 2 is still being written, though, it kind of feels like at times. So, hey, how about that, though, from Stamina? Able to bounce back after their loss to Tribe. We mentioned we credited them for their win on the Hacking Yard Search and Destroy. Maybe we still had some lingering questions. Could they do more on one of their weakest game modes? And the answer was a very convincing yes, after they had a little bit of a tough time with Asilium's defensive half. But they put together a defense that was immaculate of their own, and we turn our attention over to what's coming up next, a Summit Domination. At the beginning of this series, I was looking at this map in particular to be the one that, hey, Asilium very well could, if not should win, since their domination has been great, but you were really hoping for a map 2 win here as well.
The only thing I'm kind of worrying about when it comes to Stamina, I know we're heading into a domination, but looking back on the S&D, is how predictable some of the players are. You know Grizz is always going to go for the flank, but the problem is he always just wins the gunfight as well. Fans constantly would be pre-aiming that back walling. Grizz 9 times out of 10 would take that gunfight with Faints at the sniper. There's no reason you should be losing that, especially when you're expecting it, and having him running up your rear with Drari sitting your Tiki, that's not the most favorable position to be in.
And hey, you know, we'll do a service to both Grizz and Drari. When it comes down to our opening of the show, we talked about possible MVP candidates. We were all looking at Inferno. And now we're starting to see maybe some of the catalyst behind these successful plays really does lie with what Grizz and Drari can do. We obviously said Drari's name a lot from what he was able to do versus their match versus Tribe. A big catalyst for success on a lot of the respawns, but now all of a sudden Grizz has made his establishment as what he could do in the search and destroy, especially when you can play him off the flank. So this is good news overall for Tribe if you were to look maybe in the future beyond this matchup. I know it's not really fair to do considering we still have a map at least to play, but hey, the fact that we've got more contestants in the mix besides just Inferno is great news for Stamina fans.
There's no better way to do it than a reverse sweep here, Asilium. But I have one thing of advice to give you when it goes into this domination. Play together, please, and play just a little bit faster because you're winning your gunfights. The problem is you have no teammates there to help you. You have no trades going in your favor. Don't push in by yourself and play closer together. And I think Asilium could see some success in our domination.
And hey, look, you know, we look back towards their opening matchup versus ARP. There were some brilliant moments on Crossfire, a map that historically and statistically was not at all their strongest. But the thing about it was there were still missteps and some miscommunications when it came down to when things got tight. Who's going to make that call as far as what we need to do? And that was what ended up foiling them versus ARP as we look back over their total statistics on the weekend. The big thing really, again, comes down to the slight pressure that really is the difference, and it reflects in the overall KDs between these two squads. Stamina holds a very convincing edge in that head-to-head matchup when you look at overall KD.
Stamina definitely, to me at least, feels a little bit like the Achilles heel for Cillian here, because Stamina on the opposite end of that spectrum, they are always playing together. They are always on top of each other.
Sure.
The trades are always there. Now, we can speculate a little bit on the fact of this Stamina. Why didn't we see it in our previous series? Well, we did see Drari popping off. We saw Inferno popping off, but now we're seeing a little bit more out of Grizz. And is it just because it's a Cillian, or is it because they've woken up? Have they really realized the situation that they're in and started to kind of mold that team cam just a little bit more? Again, we have seen their cams throughout the way. There's the annual fist bumps we've seen before every single match, the complete calmness across the board. So we'll see if they take this map 3.
And for Cillian, yes, great stuff throughout the domination so far, but a lot of their success has come in the form of either raid or standoff. And as you see it on your screens, this is neither of those two. We've got Summit here, and the big question for Stamina will be, what do you have designed from this favored side to start? And, well, how about it? They're trying to get up to the second floor very quickly, met and matched largely by a Cillian, but the thing about it is, no one's actually making a play for this B flag yet. It's all about high ground control to start.
Unfortunately, actually, it looked like Cillian just kind of sat back and let Stamina run into the pre-aim, and that seemed to actually put them out on top here for just a moment as they start getting progression on this B side.
Smart play.
Why is nobody on it?
Yeah, this is
Why
actually,
is nobody on it right
there's
now?
not enough help. Jazz has to wait for help to come through, and the fact that he gets 3 in a row is actually brilliant. So now all of a sudden, you've got a Cillian members who can watch these front doors, maybe farm up a couple of kills, and then get back on to finish off the progress. But Stamina continues to win 1v1s. Tradeless eliminations coming out, and Stamina can make sure the B flag still stays neutral.
Biggest problem right now is if anybody gets on top of B to cap it, that door is just free real estate for the likes of Stamina to just pick you up. But finally, it looks like the progression's coming in. But Inferno, he looks like he was about to slide in for just a moment. Again, B is still neutral right now. A and C in the hands respectively of Spawns and Stamina and Cillian, but B finally gets capped for Cillian. That's going to be a complete in, but that contest is still there. Shift is inside. If he plays his life here and waits him for some cavalry, Inferno's actually going on a deep rotation into their spawn.
Shift is checking out the shoes of the player up top there for a moment, saying, what's the play here? Rocking the Air Force Ones. What? Jazz comes out of spawn, response. Not able to find the double, so Drari will now make a play happen here for Stamina as they try to flip this B flag around, but no high ground control anywhere to be found. Shark turns that into a triple, and Cillian completes the progress here on B to keep their 2 flag status.
Inferno's played his life incredibly well on the C side to just get a couple kills and try and get Cillian's attention, but the problem is Shark actually went on a flank of his own and made some noise in the A spawn. There's actually incredible split spawns right now, if nobody can tell. 3 blue players just spawned right next to the likes of Balance. He definitely wasn't expecting that, but Cillian still in the driver's seat, 41-28.
Next hit though for Stamina, starting to grow some legs. 2 players up top, 2 players from the front dome. Inferno, Grizz, first eliminations. Faint needs to respond. And with Jazz, they will go 3 for 2. Not a bad trade whatsoever. Marvel up top, repossesses the high ground, and Cillian will not let that break come through. Stamina have to reset and try again.
Number 2 and 5, that's going to be, Jazz and Shark that actually completely pushed up out of the B side. They're going to end up backing up for now, but again, 57-35, just waiting for the free picks. He has a death machine in for the second half as well. A couple of streaks under Jazz's name. They will finally get taken down.
Grizz able to find a kill from a weird off spawn behind C. Will keep Cillian a bit pinned back in their spawn for now, but the problem is the same thing's happening on their side of the map. It's number 4 in red Balance that's able to find 1 elimination and do essentially a copy-paste strategy. Stamina has to deal with it before they can make a play up towards the middle of the map, and with not a lot of time remaining before the half comes to a close, it's looking very positive here for Cillian to really put together what was a very solid preferred first half from them.
I mean, they haven't given up any leg room inside of this B point, and that's going to be the first half of our domination. 75-44 in favor of Cillian. They are down in the series 0-2 as we look at our KDs across the board. Faints 3 and 7, Jazz 10 and 5, and Marvel 10 and 7 respectively. Shark though 17 and 8. Clearly going to be some cavalry on his side that will be used in this second half to possibly take the map.
Drari very quickly vacates the high ground to step onto B early. Cillian preferring to play from the outside of control. Jazz able to get the death machine in, but he gets countered by one of Grizz's. So Flag stays neutral for now. Still more blue arrows than red nearby, as Narc's almost able to get that to about 66%. Now the double stack comes up, a Marvel, Death Machine in hand, good for 2. Inferno able to trade, and Jazz steps on, trying to keep this B flag as neutral for as long as possible. Nades now in. Inferno tries to hold on, and no balance! What in the world just happened right there? Death Machine looked good, but it's Drari's that doubles up, and with that, the B flag controlled by Stamina off the rip.
Drari, that was a huge 3 there to shut down the Death Machine to basically nothing, but Cillium is making a lot more headway inside of this B point than we saw Stamina in our first half. Number 1, actually, Stamina, that's going to spawn out as Narcs. See if he tries to take an angle on the A side right now, because number 3 for Cillium, that's going to be Fancy going on a long flank to the C side. And I don't think anybody on Stamina's caught wind of this.
No one's died. No one spawns. They don't know that Faints is in the back line. But Stamina go 2 for 1, make it 3 for 1. And Shark's play on the backside will obviously be figured out as the progress starts to come through. Shift will turn his attention, no problem, clears it off, and that is a huge missed opportunity there for Elysium. And a lot of it just comes down to the fact that Stamina just wins too many gunfights as soon as the play starts to develop.
I like the play Shark. I like that he went for the C point, but he needs to play his life a little bit more. They're getting more kills under his belt before he starts going for that progression on his own, because it just was not enough pressure. Plus Stamina was winning all of the gunfights on the B side. There is going to be a spawn flip, possibly a flip in A and C. Actually, it looks like Inferno is completely ignoring it as he wants to get on that C flag, maybe go for a triple cap here. If he wins these 3 gunfights off the hill, he does have the thumper. He will find one. Faints is incredibly weak one shot, but he's still there. This is very important 1v1 right now. It's still going on. Faints actually completely gives up C and goes top. This leaves free lane for Inferno for real estate on C.
Yes, Cillium makes the initiative play here, but the problem is they're just still not winning enough gunfights over the middle of the map. Yeah, there's a couple of trades here, maybe an opportunity to start to stack, but Marvel's going to be under threat from Shift's position. Tries to bolt the Death Machine, and Shift finds the double, but Cillium is able to flip the flag around. Can help get here to clear. Shark says it's time for the Death Machine of my own. There's going to be a double. Grizz, last one left alive, trying to hold on with Inferno, but not going to happen. B flag still in possession of Cillium.
My jaw is just open right now. The chaos that's happening. I can't believe they managed to flip the spawns to favorable in Cillium. 118 to 104. Stamina can still do this. They did recap B now in their possession, but they have to hold this from a very unfortunate angle of A and B.
Marvel and Balance combined for 3. Now the stack comes through. Last 2 members for Stamina will not be able to hold up. So the flag should change hands. Play for Narcs through the side door. Denied by Shark. Trades will be there, but Jazz Death Machine wins the battle. 127 to 113, the current tally, and Cillium have 2 Death Machines trying to lock this down. Now a bit of forward aggression as Jazz clears off the snow path. On the top side of the map, you've got number 4 in red. That's Balance. He's controlling the high ground, and there's just no avenues here whatsoever for Stamina to work with.
Drari and Inferno are going to be the ones to push in. Kenny gets the trade. He finds one, but they have to get B now. They might have to go a triple cap here. I'm not very good at math. Please don't ask me to do your homework for you. 138 to 119. Inferno is going off inside of the B point. They don't get the cap. They get deprogressed by Faints. The spawn flip that kind of put the nail in the coffin for Stamina. Cillium finally go up on the board in the map.
Wow. Exactly what the doctor ordered. It was a great first preferred half for them, and you mentioned it about 2 minutes ago. The play for the spawn flip, Cillium just taking the initiative to make a long route happen, and it just was not matched in time by Stamina to reflip over and kind of handshake exchange the home flags that we had. So Cillium do exactly what I was hoping they would do. Find a way to stretch this into a 4th map. Now, granted, the 4th map is not all super favorable for them, but if you're going to come out and showcase that you have a chance to get out of that top 4 spot, make it to the lower finals, you need to be able to prove it at hardpoint, and that's what they're going to have in front of them as soon as we get to it.
Especially the fact that they took it being on the unfavorable side in the second half of the domination. Yep. That momentum on the side of the Cillium is exactly what they needed to start the possibility of the reverse sweep in this series. Stamina, the fact that they gave it up so easily to flip up spawns, they just kept flooding through the front, and the Cillium just wouldn't let them in. They just kept putting bodies in the front door. They sent maybe 1 person on rotation, and when that didn't work, well, we're just gonna force more bodies in the front, give Cillium streaks, give them their death machines, let them get all streaked down on Faints, and that's what put the nail in the coffin.
And that initiative that you keep mentioning for Cillium is one of the reasons that they were able to be so darn successful in this game mode yesterday. They only dropped a single map, and that was against the likes of some major heavy hitters, of which we're actually seeing today. So, hey, you know, for Cillium, yes, good recovery, good recuperation, and really just well found and well timed to get it from, like you mentioned, a weaker side on top. That's going to boost that confidence. Say, hey, let's just get back to how we were playing yesterday. We're here for a reason. Get us through this and just take it one map at a time. This one in particular, very well handled.
Asilium did something in this dom that I wish we would almost see way more out of a lot of these teams in domination, is that they actually committed a lot to the flip out. They committed a lot to favorable spawns, which usually first half you get bad spawns, they kind of just suck it up. They're kind of just like, okay, well, let's just get however many points we count on the board in the first half. We'll have favorable spawns in the second half, and everything will be good and dandy. That's the stance Stamina took in that. They were good and dandy with having bad sides in the first half, and they were capitalizing on having good in the second, but Asilium flipping them out turned it on its head, and that's something I feel like we don't see a lot of teams doing.
When we transition away from the domination, the first step of a reverse sweep now complete for Asilium, but they now have to go through a firing range hard point. And again, just this map series said it's hard to find lifelines for Asilium, especially considering the fact that they could not steal away that first map, which was looking maybe pretty positive for them to come back on standoff. But now you go into firing range, another solid map for Stamina overall. But Asilium, I'm really looking at them to have to prove themselves away from what has been essentially a one-dimensional map selection for them throughout the day yesterday. What a better place to prove it than right here on firing range. Must-win situation or elimination in fourth place for Asilium, but Stamina, we saw what they were able to do versus Tribe on this map. Looked pretty darn solid on it, just missing out by maybe a couple of moments. See if they can find a way to correct it. Maybe just put this one out of reach and get into that lower finals.
Can't count Asilium out just yet. Even though this statistic is on firing range S&D, they are very familiar with this map 4-0 search and destroy when it comes to firing range. So they are fairly comfortable. You'd have to expect, again, we're only on our first hill, but a big 2 out of Jari in here on P1, 9 to 5, 30 seconds still left. A bit of a split push actually from Asilium. Looks like they're going for spawns deep in the back, but that was easily read as 2 call.
Yeah, it's a risky play, but it would have came with reward if you could have maybe taken Stamina a bit off guard. Problem was, Stamina read it beautifully. So with that in mind, Stamina, a solid start. Yes, Asilium in a place to where they can start accruing some time here on the first hill, but as we look over to the bottom right of the map, which is where the next rotation is going to be, Stamina's already set up ready to go.
The biggest issue right now is going to be Grizz, who's watching the rotation out from the spawns, and he's going to win one of those gunfights. He will get traded out, but I'm assuming Inferno and Hill here is going to take down Shark. That's going to be the kill. The initial is going to be in the hands of Stamina. There's about 2 players of Asilium that are close enough for the contest. That's going to be Marvel and Jazz making their way through mid, but unfortunately they shortcutted a little too soon and got taken down.
Fance has got to get here. He's got good 10 control. He can zone off the reinforcements while the rest of his teammates start to push on forward, but can anyone take care of Grizz? Thumper comes out, tried to buy some time for the reload, and a stun actually kills Marvel. Thank you very much, Inferno, as Grizz gets an extra lifeline here. And with that, the entire force of Asilium's push from the front is thwarted, and now they have to try to make their way through the window. Grizz ready for it, thanks for the double, cannot swap over to find 3, and eventually Asilium do find a way to break on in.
Jazz sat in that corner and waited for his teammates. I've never been happier to see a push from Asilium. Literally just sat there. There was 2 members of Stamina inside the hill, knew not to chow it, maybe tried to go for the wall bang, stayed alive. 2 members from Asilium push in from mid, and at that exact moment that they dropped, Jazz and Marvel slide in for the trades. That was a big break out of them, but unfortunately they got to work on rotation as well. 8 seconds left on ult. That is going to go in the hands of Stamina. 57 to 25. Not down and out yet, but not a favorable position to be in.
Yeah, Asilium not able to lock down any 10 control, so they're going to have to bunker up onto this hard point. Can they get a trophy down and maybe keep them safe from any thumpers or nades on the way in? Here comes the in from Stamina. Stuns will be there, but Shark's able to reap the reward of 2 eliminations. That's going to be good now for numbers. Strari, the last one left. He's already been able to earn up his death machine, but once again, waiting for help. Wants to make sure that there is a coordinated hit as they try to break on in, but as they do, an unexpected flank comes out, and Asilium will clean things up, and they have reaped the reward of the first 20 seconds here on trailer.
Big plays out of Shark here, just watching the entire mid push. Again, this is trailer point. There's only so many places you can push in from, and right now it's all in favor of Asilium. 30 seconds left, still Stamina is spawning out far across the map. Jari does spawn out. He might find a kill or 2, but nowhere near the hard point in question.
Good moments here for Asilium. They've got operators now generated of their own. The big question will be the efficiency. What point do you want to use these? Shark is wreaking havoc in this hard point. 10 total kills, and I would say 8 of them have come in the last 60 seconds on this hill. Number 2 in Jari, though, in blue. Stamina once again trying to block out these spawns as help is coming from the front. 3rd hard point going to be over in wood. Smoke embellishes the front, and a little bit of a scrappy battle may unfold here as the spawns for Stamina will be over towards Bathroom. They've done exactly what has been needed, and all that came from Drari and Grizz is locking down spawns, and they will open up this third hard point, part of this fourth hard point, with death machines to use, and Drari finds the double.
Honestly, though, I will say Faints played his life perfectly there. He knew he was surrounded by 3 members of Stamina, was just kind of playing hooky here with the death machine pulled out on the likes of Drari, and that got them control there in the first opening seconds, but a good answer by Stamina. This is just score streaks galore, death machines galore, back and forth we go, 72 to 87, a very close matchup.
That is such an unfortunate team thumper that came out. It's just the fact I think Shift just walked right in front of her, something of the nature, and the teammates blocked off the shot, forced the team kill, and with that number started to come out now for Cillium. 18 seconds to play for, and Cillium are just going to allow Jazz to be the last player here to try to contest this while everyone else works on the rotation to do. Marvel up top, you see him in the sniper building. That'll be a good place for him to watch over the top of this rotation while the rest of his teammates have to figure out from these tire spawns, how do they want to get here and try to zone off the middle of the map.
A big 3-player commitment on Stamina for this final 10 seconds, but so they can get the mid control. But the problem is Jazz slipped through the cracks, will find one for just a moment. That could have been scary, but allowed 2 of their teammates to push out into tower. Now we're going back to P1, 95 to 83. Cillium is in the more favorable position right now, but Stamina, the kill feed's lighting up blue.
Drari will step in, start to generate some score. Grizz up top, tough gunfight, wins it. Drari also makes safe the hit coming from tires. Grizz now at assisting, just throwing shots through the smoke, connects to allow some team shots to come out. Faints looking for a route, denied. 97-95, lead for Stamina for the first time in a minute here since really trailer. And now the score streak starting to come through. This is a very dangerous moment for Cillium. You have to make sure you're living through all of these streaks because Grizz is on 24 in a row and is fully streaked out.
Wow, Inferno was just sitting in trailer and they were just spawn trapping Cillium. They just wouldn't let them get past mid-map. This was huge time for Stamina. Only a 15-second difference though. It's very easy. Cillium just needs one more hard point to come back into this. But the Goliaths have been called in. There's going to be 2 actually going into P2 on the likes of Narcs and Inferno. Only so much Cillium can do against this. It doesn't look like they have any death machines to use either. This might be impossible.
Inferno's mech is so low, but it just stays alive. And it allows an opportunity for a brand new, fresh one to come through from Narcs. Cluster Strike rains on in, and man, Cillium, they gave this a run, but really just comes down to that rotation between Wood and then the next rotation back in the middle. Is just so many straight kills coming out for Stamina. Gets them over the hurdle for a lot of these score streaks, and now we're at 135. Over the top, desperation play is coming through. Shark from the front door, they flood. They do neutralize. The break is in, and with 30 seconds to play, Cillium can essentially tie this back up, but still so much work to be done here as Stamina tries to take it over the finish line and get into the lower finals, and Drari's death machine will be the final nail in the coffin. Cillium eliminated in 4 maps by their EU counterparts, and Stamina's corrections from what they may have learned from Tribe come to life in the end as they secure up map 4.
What a perfect hill for Stamina, honestly. Those 2 Goliaths in the P2 money hill, there was just only so much that Cillium could have done in that situation. All score sheets were called on top of it. Other 4 members of Stamina were just pushed out mid because clearly you have a Goliath at hill. They can just sit and watch that one entrance. Just make sure they don't get shot from the side. The second the Goliath goes down, all 4 members of Stamina can rotate inside of the hill and clean out the rest of the kills.
It's tough, man. Cillium definitely put up a fight. Needed to see them make some corrections, and boy, do they provide in certain instances, but they will be exiting the Western Finals in 4th place. Not a bad payday still for a team that we didn't even expect to get to Sunday. The 4th seed out of EU definitely showcased some surprise factors through day number 1, but the competition just a bit too tough for them here today. On the other foot though, Stamina. You have to be really impressed with the fact that they were able to save map number 1, really tight standoff, and then they're on map number 4, making sure they can earn those streaks and just cruise their way to a solid finish.
As we reminisce on the replays of the series, I will say for Cillium, I saw during the series them slowly changing things. I saw, little moments of light of them kind of fixing the little hiccups that they made throughout the series. They do fall 3-1 to Stamina, and I know it's our job to pick apart your gameplay and tell you what you did wrong and good, but Cillium, you made it this far. Western Finals, you made it to Sunday. You drop down in 4th place, but certainly not the worst way to end the day.
No, not at all. And I think the biggest thing about it is, yeah, there are going to be lessons that you would have liked to have learned, but still, the adaptations we saw from Cillium after a very slow start, remember, they were one of the victims to one of our LATAM teams to kick off the entirety of yesterday. They bounce back, they clutch up, they beat another major EU team in Navi yesterday just to qualify for Sunday. You give Stamina a bit of a headache. There were moments in the ARP series where, yeah, you definitely could see why they made it to this point. But at the end of the day, like Bobby and Beat Bobby were saying, Stamina is a major favorite to potentially get back to that grand finals. It was 2 of our top 3 teams before we even started the weekend, and that just bodes very dangerously for anybody who finds themselves in their path.
And Stamina's been in this position before, so them making these runs, going the distance in these series isn't a new thing to them. So after hearing them from today, you know, their confidence going into it, I definitely think it's possible. But the problem is they have the 2 giants, an ARP and Tribe. Whichever one falls down, they could be getting a rematch, but clearly they're going to have to change it up. I mean, Asilium, the fact that they got so close on Stamina after getting 3-0, that's a little worrying for me. But if Stamina can continue this run instead of relying so hardly on Drari and Inferno, we get a little bit more out of Shift, I think maybe we could see an upset.
Yeah, and, you know, Grizz has really come to life to play today, too, which is another really kind of key factor overall when you're looking at a team like Tribe and ARP. All 5 players have been playing at the top of their game, not just throughout yesterday, but even especially in those opening rounds today. So the fact that Stamina is starting to get some activating energy from more players, overall great news as we recap over the full series layout. It's everything besides the domination, which really was a pretty tight one on Summit, all things said. So with that in mind, Stamina will move on, but we continue to talk about it. We have to see who their opponent is going to be. Generally speaking, I know it's not really on us to paint out what's going to be happening next with ARP and what's going to be happening with Tribe, but we'll leave that for the desk as we drop things back over, see what they have to say about the recap and what very well may be coming up in Stamina's path.
Congratulations to Stamina. They get the job done and they add that $50,000 bonus, still in the run for the $300,000. We got to talk a little bit about our friends though at Sony. The reason we are here with a huge prize pool, the official smartphone of the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship 2021. It's the Xperia 1 Mark III, one of the best gaming devices on the market.
Take a look at that overheating prevention up to this phone. That's usually my problem when I'm playing Call of Duty Mobile. My phone overheats all the time. And not just that, I lack an audio jack. And the fact that I can plug in headphones that are really good so I can hear really good sound, this is a big deal.
Bobby, the headphones, anything you got in your arsenal for your PC, you can plug them into your phone to 3.5 universal. It's got great sound. You can customize all of your audio. Every footstep in S&D will be heard. The Xperia 1 Mark III in all of our players' hands throughout this tournament, and looking at the Stamina guys at the end of their game, feeling quite comfortable on this thing.
Yeah, seems like they've had a decent amount of time using their Xperia, so they've definitely found that rhythm, and I think we're starting to see some of those other players break out. That's what we said they needed to have happen that didn't happen versus Tribe. It was mainly Inferno and Drari versus the world, and some of those players like Grizz learning to adapt, putting the shotgun away when it's not working, pulling out the Type 25, and when that happened, he played amazing.
I love the Type 25. The Thumpers were connecting for him as well. But Beef Mommy, we got to show some love to Asilium. They surprised everyone, going the distance, making it to Sunday. And a guy we were kind of hating on early on, Shark, your numbers weren't great coming into day 2. He showed up in a big way in that game 3, and I want to credit Shark for probably the steal and that domination. If he and the rest of the team are able to up their slaying come 2022, I think this is another team we expect to see back in our Final Four.
You're absolutely right, Chris. Shark really pulled up. I know we had really high expectations. We were talking about it. Shark for Asilium, yes, he's definitely going to take it. But day number 1, a little bit rough, but he was able to show everyone how much he can actually frag in that Summit domination. He was soloing, capping everything, having multi-kills, but unfortunately, as long as he is there in the spot, they just couldn't touch him.
Unfortunately, Asilium is done, though. They will be watching the rest of the tournament. However, Stamina, they continue to pound their way through the bracket, and we've got the man who has dropped 36 kills in his last 2 S&Ds on the stream right now. Drari, welcome to the stream, brother. How you doing?
Good, and you? Everything good?
I'm feeling amazing just watching your gameplay. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, though? Did you come up playing through the respawn game modes and matchmaking, or have you always been an S&D specialist?
I mean, I'm one of the players that can adapt to every single mode, I think. And yeah, I think I had the momentum. It also gives a big impact. So I had a really good momentum. And yeah, it made a difference today.
Tell me a little bit about that 4K you got on Raid, because it seemed like you were the lone man over at Tiki and you just finessed him.
Yeah, it was a really good one. Like I said, I had the momentum. I could sound every single person. I appreciated every angle, and it worked. So, yeah.
It definitely worked out, and it was fun to watch. Now, a lot of people in the chat were saying Stamina would be in a much better place if you didn't have to play Tribe in round 1. Unfortunately, that's what you had to do, and you might have to play him again. So what did you learn in your first meeting from Tribe? We're about to see them take on ARP in the winner's bracket, and this will give you guys an opportunity to scout.
Yeah, I mean, I think that our team has, like, usually we have a little problem is that at the start we usually don't do that good. And we learn from our mistakes. So right now we woke up. It was the same yesterday. We lost like our second match, and after that we completely destroyed everyone. So I hope that today is gonna be the same. We woke up. We have the momentum. It's the right moment.
Jari, we've been talking a little about our Sony Xperia MVP. You are in the running now officially here on the desk. If you could give one other teammate credit though, who do you think should also be in the running for MVP with you from Stamina?
I'm not gonna lie, everyone. I'm not gonna give any name. I think that everyone deserves it. It's a team play, it's a team game. So yeah, we all gonna deserve it, I hope so.
It's gonna take a team to lift that trophy. Congratulations once again on staying alive in the losers bracket, and best of luck in your next match.
Thank you.
That is Jari. You'll check him out a little bit later as Stamina is waiting to see who is going to fall down to play them. Is it ARP or will it be a rematch against Tribe Gaming? That winner's bracket finals, our next matchup here. We are in the Western finals of the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship 2021 and the action is still heating up. So tell your friends and don't go anywhere. When we come back, we've got the biggest match of the day yet, and it's going to be a banger.
Further beyond that, looking for the bird. Oh my goodness!
I'm taking it up a level, gonna even that score.
Oh, he's able to get both!
Every day, all day, all I do is win. I'm the best in the world, I lift the game again.
The one gets the second.
I do it when I cold show. You know there ain't no other going out with a bang.
Another one! Now 1 versus 1. What is this?
Ready? How you like me now? Yeah. Game over. That's how I do it when I move over. You know I'm taking over.
On top of the North American region, coming out of the lower.
¡Hoy! Vamos. Bien. Ándale por los laditos.
¿Y el de la moto rara no volvió?
No. No olvidé ese personaje.
¿Sabes qué le iba a decir yo? ¿Será que el burro se puede apretar ahí así como está ahora para que no mueva tanto?
Buenas.
Sí, yo creo que sí.
Señor Roy, ven.
Hola.
¿Cómo vamos?
Bien llevado. No me tiras bien, dígame. Señora. Dígame, patrona.
Roiver,
Sí.
lo que pasa es que le mandaron una razón.
Uy, dígame. ¿Y entonces, caballero?
Usted no gusta. Sino que mi hermano tiene una moto para arreglar.
¿Su hermano?
Sí, Pepe, sí.
Ajá.
Entonces que yo le voy a llamar y le va a decir qué tiene, a ver si usted se la arregla y cuánto le cobra. Cuidado, cuidado.
Uy, socio, yo ni sabía que ese mouse le servía, mano.
Aló. Aparecí. Aquí estoy donde Roiver. Ya le comenté y aquí se lo paso para que usted hable con él personalmente. Mire, Roiver.
Aló.
¿Un juego?
Sí, señor. Sí. Ajá. Sí. Pues si fuera el pin como él dice, pues es breve. Y si no, pues siempre es jodido, amigo. Sí, porque si es el pin, es breve, eso es una tapa. Tapa flot, ahí nomás ya ni arregla lo que dice, pero si es ya los piñones dañados, de pronto le han metido los cambios bruscos y entonces es como digamos una estría, ¿no? Que es como cuando los dientes del plato se saltan y entonces suena se saltan ya. Entonces no fue nada, solamente el cambio que esté bueno. Ah, si es el pincito ese, amigo, pues yo paso a creer que 10.000 pesos y el empaque, porque por eso le toca comprar el empaque ahí para ponérselo de nuevo. Pero es que sí, porque pues como vuelvo y le digo, si es eso nomás, 10.000 pesos y el empaque vale 3.000, creo, 3.000, 4.000. Y se le acomoda eso y pues si es el resorte partido, pues lo que valga el resorte y ya. Pero pues si son los piñones y eso, ya ahí se toca tapar la caja, ya eso la mala destapada vale más y lo que valgan los piñones. Ah, listo, va. También, sí, mejor, ¿no? ¿Pasa tarde o qué? Porque pues, yo casi todo el tiempo tengo aquí abierto, amigo. La única es que por lo menos creo que el domingo 10, sí, el domingo que viene, creo, el 10 o el 11, algo así, como qué día es que es, pero ese día tengo que llevar a Lady a eso de por allá a Valparaíso. Ahí trabaja en Valparaíso, entonces por allá tengo que llevarla. Ah, sí, yo estoy por ahí. Esto, amigo, la verdad es que las tapitas yo tuve acá, porque ahorita tengo es de la Eco 100, de la otra, como ya viene de dos, ¿no? Eco de luz y Eco 100. De la Eco 100 es más grande las tapas y acá las tengo, pero... Sí, pero esas tapas aquí, pues yo las tenía en 34. Sí. Claro. Ajá. Sí, claro. Para aclarar ya la toca con un cerrajero, amigo, porque pues ahí sí te toca saber a lo menos medio que no iba a hacer activo, porque pues uno lo hace, pero eso siempre nunca, pues yo nunca he podido tener abrir eso, ni porque trabajé con mi tío Miguel, ahí tienen una de esas para hacer llaves, una fotocopiadora, pero no, amigo, no, eso es difícil, eso los tienen que más o menos cuidar de alguna manera buena para que abran, porque no, eso siempre queda... Ah, no, sí, pues ya se quería comprar el kit de las llaves. Sí, claro, pues con el kit de las llaves. La llave viene llave del tanque, la llave del switch, y viene creo que la Eco de luz trae la tapita, trae el kitcito de la llave, creo que ese es el que viene. Sí, vienen esos tres me parece. Y 2 llaves, eso es lo normal que viene. Y ya de ahí para adelante ya pues el martes pasado fui a traerlas. Claro. Sino que de momentico, amigos, así para decirle que la traigan ahorita, pues hoy estoy tratando de relajo, pero ya mañana me toca mucho ahora. Me toca acabar de cuadrar una V80 y después otra motico que tengo por ahí para entregarla porque pues me la hicieron destapar, pero pues siempre no le han metido nada y pues nada que salen con nada, entonces prefiero armarla y entregarla. Hágale, listo, bueno. Ajá. Listo, papá, todo bien, ¿no? ¿Este es Pepe, dice? ¿Pepe es el grandote o el pequeño?
Pepe es uno clásico, soy pequeño.
¿Pero es que era grandote? ¿No es grandote? Bien, me dijo hermano que está ahí en la linca. Pero no lo hizo. Dice, bueno, para acá, para allá.
Él estuvo acá el lunes. En el Walmart, ya otra vez. Claro, él estuvo acá el lunes.
Sí, me dijo que el martes bajaba para ir a ver la moto, que la tienen en internet, en gente, que no sabe tenía.
Pero sí le dije más o menos era.
Sí, porque era cuadrarle un resortico, que en el cambio. Yo por eso le expliqué, porque pues si es el resortito de cambio, pero uno lo saca por la tapa de acá, eso es el cambio. Pero pues si en la caja y eso, pues muchas veces me da, me pide ayuda, pero no.
Tocaste la raíz.
An airdrop is coming.
The revived flight will arrive in corte para que sea algo celeste, que es un bonito y precioso.
A mí me parece también.
Sí, amigo.
De todo el peso.
Ahí vamos. Sí.
¿Sabes que usted no tiene el número de Carlos, maestro?
De Carlos, no, amigo. Lo consigue de el turco para bajito, amigo.
¿Me vi el turco para bajito?
Sí, cerquita.
A la izquierda o derecha.
Muchachos, saludos. Ey, el 4 murió.
Se fue. Esperemos que vaya. Estoy mal de... Bueno, no estoy tan bien de luz. Ay, se me dio un franco, pana. Aquí. Voy a coger unas sacacacas.
Uy, van a morir, ¿no? Ah.
No, no, señor. ¿Lo de abajo? Ah, listo. Lo del carburador, no, no señor. No, me toca ya subir el flotador y ya. Subir el flotador yo creo y ya. Claro.
Chip terminal is almost ready. Airdrop has been delivered.
Listo, papá, estoy bien.
Your teammate has been killed. The safe zone is collapsing.
Cabronas. Arma alcanzada de... Y usted no escucha como una música ahí que... Eso es... Cierto, una música ahí toda rara que yo ni entiendo de qué es esa mierda. una música ahí.
Muchachos, ahorita sí me tocó ponerme las pilas y...
Welcome to Blackout, soldier. The match is about to start.
Veterans.
Dígame.
Get ready.